Welcome to the Hilarity Ensues podcast, hosted by Donna, the queen of quick wit, and Jeff, the dean of devious double entendres. Together, they're on a mission to find the funny in life using nothing but their critical thinking skills and sarcasm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hilarity Ensues. I am your host, Donna, and joining me today is my co-host,
Jeff.
Yes, Donna and Jeff. And today's show, we are going to talk about what's going on in the great state of New York, the Big Apple. We have some things going on with New York City Mayor Eric Adams and his recent indictment. So, Jeff, what's your take on what's going on here?
Well, interesting timing, as always. I say that a lot, but it is interesting. And this man has been doing some dirt for quite some time. That's why I say interesting timing. It goes back to, I think, 2016, if my crack research team is correct. That's a long time to be corrupt with nobody saying, too much of anything and no indictments until just now. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let's kind of give a little timeline here on Mayor Eric Adams. He took office of mayor in January of 2022. And he's New York City's 110th mayor. Prior to that, he was borough president from January 2014 to December 2021. Before that, he was in the New York State Senate, 20th District from 2007 to 2013. And prior to that, he was a New York City police officer that left with the rank of captain from 1984 to 2006. So outside of his career with the NYPD, he has had a very long stint in politics. And I've always said, Jeff, that when they sit in there too long, they get a little too comfortable. They forge some really tight relationships. And these things are bound to happen.
Yeah, pretty much. When you get used to stuff just getting handed to you, people with their hand out, they need something done. They want to grease your palms. You're like, well, let me go ahead and help you out. You're helping me out. That's what we've been doing for so many years. So let's keep it moving.
Yeah. So why he's now in the news, because like he said, he's had some indictments now where he's facing some serious charges. Let's go back here to some
bribery.
Okay, so bribery. Yeah, he has one count of bribery, 2 counts of solicitation of a contribution by a foreign national, 1 count of wire fraud, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud, federal program bribery, and to receive campaign contributions by foreign nationals.
Doesn't sound too good.
No, it doesn't sound too good. Anytime you hear solicitation, it never sounds good.
No.
So, but what they're saying is that he was soliciting contributions and using straw donors. So why this makes it such a big issue is because a straw donor is a third party that you're wiring donations through to kind of mask where the donations are coming from. So, for example, you have a rich person that wants to contribute to your campaign. They're limited to the amount of dollars they can contribute to your campaign. So when they cap out at that, they'll funnel that money through a straw donor so it reaches your campaign. Not so honest.
Not at all. Yeah. I was today years old when I found out about straw donors. I don't know a lot about corruption, but I'm learning more and more each day.
Amazing. You don't learn about corruption from history books, but you know what you learn it from? The incumbent politicians that we have in office.
Yes, indeed.
So here's what got me while they were reading out some of the things, because apparently when you get gifts as a politician, your office, you're supposed to report that. You get a free night hotel stay someplace, you're supposed to report that.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he received business class, which is the most expensive form of air travel, on a Turkish airline, and also at the St. Regis in the Bentley suite. He received accommodations at that hotel in Istanbul. And it kind of circles back to a Turkish investor that was putting up a building. Their building passing fire and safety inspection, even though the fire department did not pass it.
Yeah, I heard it was looking pretty super dangerous. And he's like, well, you're going to pass this through or you're not going to have a job, basically.
Yeah. So wielding your power in order to get others to do what you want them to do. This is where everything gets a little dicey.
Well, he is the bad boy mayor, right?
You know, he that's what he called himself when he gave Puffy the key to the city like a year ago. So I find it, as you said, timing. A year ago, he gives Puffy the key to the city, and a year later, he's getting indicted.
Yeah.
Be careful, people, what you speak into your life.
Exactly. Unbelievable.
Here's the other thing that the feds got him onto. It's a federal offense. You can receive jail time for lying to the feds. It's a big no-no. And they confiscated his cell phone and asked him for his password, Jeff.
and he said, what? I forgot.
I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now, dude. If you didn't want to give him the password, you should have said, you know what? I'm not providing that to you. They probably could have charged you for interfering with an investigation, but plead the fifth or something, but don't lie to the people that you don't know your password to your cell phone. You're like 60 something years old and you have like dementia now and you don't remember the password to your cell phone.
Yeah, they're just going to get Scooter computer just to figure it out. They're going to bust it wide open.
Yeah, it's not that hard. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 probably was his password. They should have just tried that.
Yep.
Now, do you know how popular he is with New Yorkers?
I heard 20%. That sound about right?
He has a 20% approval rating.
That's pretty damn bad.
It's pretty damn bad. So there was a recent poll, New York Post. I want to say it was the 26th of September, if my memory serves me correctly. And on that poll, 3.5% of New Yorkers felt that New York City was safer for them and they do not worry about crime anymore. I'd like to meet those people.
Yeah.
Okay. Because, and overwhelmingly, over 96% said his modest gains aren't nearly enough to make a New Yorker feel safe, which sounds about accurate.
That's very bad.
So when he ran like most mayors do. They're going to be tough on crime and they're going to make the city safe and all these promises that he has not delivered on. And crime not that it isn't a concern for New Yorkers. I haven't lived there in over 20 years, but I still have family there. Crime is always going to be a concern where you live. Where I live in California, most people leave their front door open here and they're not worried about people breaking in, but we still are concerned about crime. And how you're concerned about crime? Because you have Ring cameras and people are alerting you on the Ring camera app or Nextdoor about a suspicious person in the area that's walking through and looking into cars. So people are concerned about crime, but New Yorkers, you know what they're concerned about?
What's that?
They are concerned about them huge rats.
Yeah, I've seen some videos. Big as cats and small dogs.
Big as cats and small dogs. And one day, I have a friend of mine that she lives right across from Barclays Center. Very nice neighborhood. She was walking in front of her building. She was about to enter her building, and this rat was at the front door. And the rat looked up at her like, what, you going to open the door and let me in too? It did not move.
Maybe the rat was the guard that night.
So she was like, I got to hang up right now because I got to figure some things out. But these huge rats, they have a huge trash problem. Over the course, of me living there, trash had always been an issue, but it seems to have gotten exponentially a lot worse. And they're trying to find ways to contain it before trash pickup because that's when the rats are coming out. The sewage systems, they are in need of maintenance and repair. The sky-high rents, that's what they're concerned about. Not only jobs, but also for those that are working, the amount of tax that you're paying. You have federal tax, state tax, city tax, commuter tax. And if you're someone that is not fortunate to be able to ride the subway into work and you're coming over the Verrazano or the Goethals, you're paying, I don't even remember, I know it's way over $20, but in tolls just to go to and from work.
Damn, that adds up.
So there's a lot of things that people are worried about that you did not focus on. And I do understand that he ran as a Democrat, but I kind of wonder because he's been a Democrat for over 20 years, but prior to that, he was a Republican. So I do think some of his stances are a little bit more conservative. Maybe he's a centrist, I don't know. But he didn't do anything for the people of the city that he serves. And I found it ironic that a couple days ago, I think it was today. Where do Black politicians show up at when they need help?
Church! Yeah, he got real religious real quick. Okay, bro.
He did. He went to church that morning, and he went to a gospel concert later on.
Yeah, look at me. I'm innocent. I go to church. Okay. We've seen that before, bro.
Yeah.
He also said it was a black problem. It was a black thing. And then somebody was yelling, no, it's a you thing. I don't know if you saw that. He had some kind of a live press conference. He just sit there. The guy kept saying, no, it's you. You're the problem. And he just sat there and smiled and laughed nervously.
That's all he could do.
Yeah, he knows what's up. That's pathetic.
Yes, it is.
Why was he traveling all over? That's my question. I don't know much about being the mayor, but if you're the mayor of city whatever in the U.S., why are you flying to Turkey, going to France, China, Ghana, some other country? I mean, shouldn't you be mainly in the States, mainly in your city?
Yeah, I would think you're not. You're a city mayor.
I just don't understand why you're flying there business class, doing deals, when you should be focusing on your own city and your people, your constituents.
And right now, from what I understand, a huge struggle is there's been a change in the curriculum in education, and these changes are funneled through the mayor's office. And they have a new math curriculum that makes no sense, and it's going to affect the children going forward if this is not corrected. And him sitting in office going through all of this kind of bottlenecks this and kind of puts it at a standstill. So those are things that he should be focusing on: education, transportation, housing, all of those things as mayor. Not going to Turkey or China or Ghana or wherever and conducting business. That's not the people that you serve. The people that you serve, sir, are in New York City.
100%. How about all the new migrant influx as well? Take care of them, from what I hear.
Enlighten me.
Oh, in terms of the free, cards and whatnot, just kind of like Chi-Town, giving them money, room, board, pretty much whatever they need.
And where are these migrants coming from?
All over.
Okay.
Getting flown in.
But that's been kind of par for the course here in the United States, is that people come over here. Some groups get more preferential treatment than others, and I'll kind of leave it at that. But for the most part, they come in and they're able to kind of with a clean slate, create a whole new life. Where if people that have been born and raised in this country are told, pull yourself up from your bootstraps. Well, shucks, if I don't have any boots, how can I pull them up?
That's true.
So we have a set of policies and procedures and rules for people that are coming here because we want to make them feel as if this is a great country that welcomes everyone. And we have people here that were born and raised here and have been here for generations that we kind of spit on and we tell them to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents.
It is. Yeah, it is ridiculous. Absolutely.
But I'm going to ask you this. Eric Adams has said he's not resigning. He's not stepping down. AOC has asked him to step down. How do you think this is going to play out for him? Because I think he's kind of leading with his ego, and he's been a man that has had power for a very long time, and he thinks he can finesse his way through this. But this can turn out pretty bad for him.
Yeah, they're going to remove him forcibly, and he might, for real, serve some real prison time. I don't think they're going to spank his hand either. It's not going to be a good look. It might be time to step down and just focus on just trying to defend yourself and try to get out as cleanly as possible. But it sounds like he's going to be serving some time.
Yeah, it sounds like this. And usually lawyers advise you not to make any, comments about what's going on. And he's doing church press runs and talking to people.
He's doing his mayor stuff.
Which kind of leads me to believe that this is ego driven because you feel that you need to be in front of something to kind of present an image when your counsel has advised you to kind of sit back and not say a word.
Yeah, he's paying them for their expertise. They should probably follow what they're telling them to do. But that ego is strong.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to turn out well for him. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to turn out so well.
Well, we'll soon find out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that him and the person he gave the key to the city will end up in the same housing unit?
He might be at the other end of the block, but yeah, I think Diddy's going to be in the block with the cameras that aren't working, and the batteries are running out, with the bad angles, and the mob related killer, his cellmate.
You know, here's the other thing, and I forgot to add this in. With all the contributions that he received, with all the gifts of hotel and air transportation, he attempted to, I believe, plead ignorance to this. Like he didn't know that he was supposed to report it.
Yeah, didn't he have a famous quote about that?
When he was in law enforcement, pleading ignorance is not an excuse, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so
it's different. When you're mayor, it's different.
It's different when you're mayor. So now he can plead ignorance is what he's saying?
Yeah, I didn't know all these gifts were supposed to be reported. I thought they just for me personally.
But the thing about it is that you have staff. You know, he has staff. Does his staff communicate with each other? Because I'm sure he's not calling up ABC airline and saying, I'm trying to book a flight to Istanbul on, January 3rd, whatever. He has staff that does that for him. So the same staff that's doing this for him, shouldn't they be the one keeping track of these donations in the form of hotel and airfare? I would think so. Maybe I'm being silly. Maybe I'm looking at it from a simplistic point of view, but isn't that how it works?
I thought you're supposed to go in the honor system.
Oh, that's what it is? Oh, man.
The Eric Adams honor system.
If I don't tell you, it didn't happen.
Exactly.
But these things create a paper trail, and that's what's hemming him up with this. All these charges is all the paper that's surfacing about all these things that he got.
Right. I heard he tried to create his own paper trail to cover his bad paper trail, and that makes it look even worse.
That was so stupid. He's a grown man. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? That is so stupid. And I normally don't call people stupid, but that was stupid.
It was pretty dumb.
You graduated from John Jay School of Criminal Justice. You served in law enforcement. You were in several seats between the Senate and borough president and mayor's office. And all of a sudden, you don't recognize that people keep track of things, paper. There's a paper trail? Yeah.
The mortal words of Antoine Dodson to Eric Adams. You are dumb. You are so dumb. For real.
Yeah. You're too old to be that naive. You're too old for that.
It's a bad look. How long you think before his girlfriend breaks up with him or turns states or fed evidence on him?
She might be draining the bank account right now as we speak.
Yeah.
That's what they usually do.
It might be time to exit stage left if I were her.
Yeah, so she's not serving time in the cell neighboring him. It's never a good time for things like this to happen for any city, but New York is one of the largest cities in the U.S. And in many ways, they are the pulse of our financial centers. Wall Street's down there. And so a lot of these things can have an impact on us that are outside of the state of New York, believe it or not. Do you believe so? I should ask. That's my opinion. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking up a little bit on Tracy Collins, his girlfriend. Looks like she might, she's in on this too.
Oh, because she went with him to Istanbul. She went with him to Istanbul because that's what they said. The airline was for him and a companion.
Right. They go into detail. Yep. Okay.
But my question is, being that she's not a city official, is she held to the same standard of him as, it's kind of like Turkey giving you an airline ticket or something like that. Is she held accountable for anything?
I don't think so, but they're probably going to use her as, with evidence, so for sure. There's going to be a witness.
Yeah, they're going to lean in on her. Here's what I don't understand with people is that the federal government, they build cases before they indict or press charges. They build cases. They don't wake up one day and say, you know what, we think that so-and-so did this and we're going to prove it. No, they've already determined how they're going to prove this to be true.
They did the research.
They did the research. They've gathered all the documents. Anything that they do at this point going forward, it's just extra. It's just extra. And so, you think people would understand that, like, you know what? Not that I'm saying everyone needs to kind of lay down and comply, but kind of give some thought to the fact of what might be going on and what they may know that you don't know.
Right, because they don't release everything, every detail. So they got to have a couple cards up their sleeves.
And what's the name? His last name is Williams. That's prosecuting.
That I have to look up. That I don't know off the top.
Last name is Williams. And how I know this is because he's from the same parish as my mother in Jamaica. His family's Jamaican, and they have the same last name. He might be related to me.
Damian Williams.
Yes, there we go. Damian Williams. And he has record of everything because he sits there and he just recites all the charges, what's going on, So I'd be a little concerned I would be a little concerned if I was Eric Adams.
Williams sounds like he has a pretty strong case. I remember I just looked him up and seen him, but yeah, that was the guy that's talking and just reciting it, just right off of memory, off rip.
Yep.
Got him where he wants him.
There's a joke on Instagram. Anytime you see a man with those wire rim round glasses, he means business.
Yeah.
So anything else you think that our listeners should pay attention to or keep an eye out for? Any predictions that we have? Well, you already predicted he's going to do jail time, so
he's going to do jail time. They're definitely going to destroy the freak off tapes, but I think Eric Adams might be on one of those tapes.
That's why he was giving out keys to the city.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a very good observation on your part there, Mr. J. So
yeah, got to have your insurance plan,
Yeah, you do.
Ooh, that's gross. I'm getting the shivers just thinking about him on that tape. That's pretty gross.
Didn't we say this on the last show when we talked about this? Imagine your job being an analyzer where you're just sitting there looking at videotapes all day, every day.
Seen lots of illegal activity, some underage stuff, some animal stuff, possibly, maybe some sacrifices. You never know.
You never know. But you know what? People that work for the federal government have excellent health care. So yeah. I'm sure behavioral health is included in that, and they're going to utilize that.
Right, they'll be okay.
Yeah, you're definitely going to need that. Well,
it's going to be disturbing for sure.
It is going to be disturbing. But here, thoughts and prayers out for the people in New York City. I know how tough you are. You guys are going to make it through. And Mr. Adams, you might need to go to more than one church service. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you might have to testify.
You might need to testify. But that's it, folks. That's what we have for today on today's episode of Hilarity Ensues. What do they need to do, Jeff?
Oh, they need to listen all the way to the end. If we're on Spreaker or any of our other podcast options there, listen all the way to the end so we can get those download numbers. Also, like and subscribe. We're on IG, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure you comment for the algorithm and share the show with everyone you know. I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you. Again, thank you for tuning in, and goodbye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Hilarity Ensues. Our fantastic music soundtrack is brought to you by TL Music Productions exclusively for Hilarity Ensues. Be sure to connect with us on social media by following Hilarity Ensues Podcast.